HR issues can kill you. One complaint against your company can turn your world upside down. And you spend way too much time dealing with HR when you should be spending your time on making a profit. You should talk to Bambi. With Bambi, get access to your own dedicated US-based HR manager starting at just $99 per month. They get to know you and your business while providing HR expertise and the personal touch you need and want. They're available by phone, email, and real-time chat, so onboarding and terminations run smoothly. Team members reach peak performance, and your business stays compliant with changing HR regulations. And with Bambi's HR Autopilot, you'll automate important HR practices like setting policies, training, and feedback. HR managers can easily cost $80,000 a year, but Bambi starts at $99 per month. Schedule your free conversation today to see how much Bambi can take off your plate. Go to Bambi.com right now and type in Accelerate under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Spelled BAM, BEE.com. Bambi.com. Type in Accelerate.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Welcome to Accelerate Your Business Growth with your host, Diane Helbig. Diane is a leading small business development and leadership coach, author, and speaker who is passionate about sharing valuable ideas, tips, and techniques with business professionals worldwide. Diane brings you the world's experts and gurus in all things business. Whether it's sales, structure, social media, planning, or plateauing, guests bring their expertise and energy to each episode. When growing your business is your focus, Accelerate Your Business Growth is the show to listen to. Got a topic or guest suggestion? Let Diane know. The goal is to make sure you have the information you need to move your business forward. Thanks for joining us. Settle in and enjoy.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Today's podcast is sponsored by Audible.com and Ringboost.com. Audible.com is a leading provider of spoken audio entertainment and information. Listen to audiobooks whenever and wherever you want. Get a free book when you sign up for a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/businessgrowth. Ringboost.com has the largest selection of vanity and easy dial phone numbers in the country, including custom local and toll-free. Call 877-RING-BOOST or visit ringboost.com to get a number as unforgettable as you are. Accelerate Your Business Growth podcast continues to enjoy inclusion on lists of the best podcasts to listen to. This is really because of the guests who join me, and today we have such a guest. My guest today is Abdo Riani. Abdo is the founder of StartupCircle.co, where aspiring and rising entrepreneurs can connect with and learn from successful founders over daily live Q&A sessions. He also mentors and guides entrepreneurs to first paying customers and beyond. Thanks so much for joining me today, Abdo.
Diane, thank you very much for having me. I'm really excited for this call and discussion today.
Well, I am too, and we're going to be talking about such an interesting topic. We're talking about how to leverage the audience of influencers and experts in your industry, and I am fascinated by this subject, and I am curious about how it's different from influencer marketing.
It's actually one type of influencer marketing, Diane. It's the same idea. You leverage influencers' audience. That is, you are exposed to someone's audience. But in this case, Diane, it depends on how you obviously execute on such partnership. You can benefit from more than just exposure. If you'd like, I can share an example.
That would be great. Thank you.
Of course. So, Diane, I spent all my career building and helping entrepreneurs build technology startups. It wasn't until the beginnings, the first month actually of 2018, when I decided or wanted to offer different products and services. I wanted to offer coaching services, consulting services. I wanted to sell digital products. And one of my big challenges back then was that I didn't have an audience. Actually, I had zero audience. I didn't have an email list. By audience, I did not have an email list. I did not have a social media presence or a big enough social media presence for me to launch a product or service. And I was challenged with how I can not only sell or offer my products and services to a big audience, but also how can I build trust with them, because I am the product in this case. People will be investing in me as a coach or a consultant or a course creator. My hypothesis back then, Diane, was that what if I could leverage experts' audience instead of competing for the attention of this audience? Typically, when it comes to influencer marketing, people will try to build partnerships with those who have an audience, and in exchange, they get a commission for the sale, whether it's through social media or through email marketing. But in my case, given that I didn't have an audience and didn't have anything to give in exchange, I needed to find a different path. So my hypothesis was, what if I can what if I can highlight people's expertise and in exchange get them to promote my initiative? My initiative back then was the Bootstrapping Summit. I created the Bootstrapping Summit to document the journey of 100 self-funded entrepreneurs, people that are offering products and services that are either complementary to what I'm offering or supplementary to what I'm offering, making sure that those I attract are not directly competing with them. And the idea was, if I can feature you, Diane, if I can get you in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people, would you be inclined to share your session, your interview, or the whole project, the Bootstrapping Summit, with your audience? The Bootstrapping Summit allowed me to not only leverage people's audience through their promotion, but also connect with their audience, build trust with them. And that is more than just asking an influencer to promote a certain product to her or his audience. The same idea, Diane, I applied with local chambers of commerce. So I went to a local chamber and I told them, I know that one of your objectives is to educate local entrepreneurs to help them start and grow their businesses. And I also know that you may want to bring many experts throughout the year, but it's sometimes not feasible. Sometimes you don't have the funding for it. Sometimes you cannot squeeze in someone in a packed calendar, packed schedule. So what if I could bring that expert? What if I could take over the planning, the organization, the recruiting, and I can do it for free? Even the expert will not be asking any compensation for that. All I need from you is distribution, is promotion. The expert that I am bringing to chat with local entrepreneurs via Zoom or Skype or Hangout is seeking exposure. So she or he is benefiting from the initiative, from spending 30 to 60 minutes getting exposed to a new audience. The Chamber of Commerce or other local organizations are benefiting because they're getting high-profile entrepreneurs to come talk with their entrepreneurs, of their members. I am benefiting because I am also getting the exposure to this new audience, and that allows me to strengthen my personal brand, to offer my products and services, to grow my existing audience, and everyone is winning here. This, Diane, is another example of how you could leverage indirect competitors' audience without essentially competing for the attention of their audience. And it is a form of influencer marketing, but not the usual type where you reach out to people with an audience and you offer them a percentage of the sales if they promote.
Thank you so much for that example. So I get it, because when I think about experiences I've had either participating in something that's influencer marketing or have received something, I can see that, okay, so if I ask someone to share my initiative with their audience, that's great, except it's still one step removed. I'm still not getting in front of them. I'm relying on the influencer to do it for me, where what you're talking about sounds like I get the opportunity to actually be in front of their audience so that I get to build trust with them as well, and I get a boost because I'm being brought in by someone they already trust.
That's exactly it, Diane. What you're doing is you are accomplishing many goals at the same time, but also helping the other party accomplish many goals at the same time.
Yeah.
Everybody is winning. So initiatives like this, Dan, are projects that don't essentially cost money or not even a lot of time, but it's something that people have to invest in relationship building to accomplish. That is the only requirement. That is the only thing that you need to do to run projects like this.
So I'm so glad that you said that, because I heard that really clearly when you were talking about it. Because one of the things I heard was you have to want to help them realize their goals, right? Everyone has to win in this. You can't walk in and go, well, I want to do this with your audience. It's got to be, here's a way I think I can help you reach your goals. And therefore, I reach mine as well, but only if I'm helping you.
Exactly. So, Diane, let's assume I cold emailed you with such idea. I told you if you'd be interested, or I asked if you'd be interested in collaborating with me on an idea like this, and those are going to be the benefits, and this is how your involvement is going to be and how long it will take. Chances are, Diane, because you are a successful businesswoman, you may or may not ignore my message. And the reason behind that is because you don't know who I am, and you don't know if I'm going to, if I have other intentions. So there is a middle stage there, Diane. And that stage is the trust building stage. That's when you have a conversation with the potential partner about anything else, but not the business. That's when you get to know each other. That's when you build trust with each other. And I found, Dan, that the best way to do that is to interview people. I think the easiest way to get someone to have a one-on-one conversation with you is if you seek their interest in an interview. I always say that experts like to be experts, and the least you can do is highlight their expertise. If you can get them in front of a new audience, even if it's not a big audience, even if you just share it on social media, people are more likely to want to have a conversation with you if you ask for a little bit of their time for a quick interview than if you just cold email them for a quick call to discuss this project. That has to be in the middle, whether it's interviews or meeting one-on-one in conferences or local events or any other way, however you want to do it, as long as you make sure that this person you're reaching out to trusts you as a person and is willing to seriously listen to your proposal. And this, Diane, is how I launched every single partnership. It all started with the Bootstrapping Summit. And then after the Bootstrapping Summit, and after all the relationships that I built through the Bootstrapping Summit, given that I have interviewed 100 people, I reached back to some of those speakers and I offered them several partnerships. One of the speakers was actually interested in investing in Startup Circle, my current startup. And that was actually way before I had even conducted any interview or hosted any session or even built a small or simple landing page. A few other of the speakers that I had partner up with me for different online events like that. And now I took the same idea to local organizations like the local chamber and continuing to leverage this simple project that I honestly consider, at least from what I have experienced in 2018, every entrepreneur's opportunity for a 3 months overnight success.
So this is fascinating to me. I'm curious, though. I can imagine people are listening and thinking, okay, but how do I figure out who these influencers are, and how do I get the, starting out with a conversation with them, but how do they know who they should be reaching out to begin with?
It starts with a quick research, Diane. You either use, Google to look for the top companies or influencers or experts, not necessarily influencers per se, who make a living through influencer marketing, but experts, authors perhaps. Usually authors have an audience, indirect competitors, those who offer complementary or supplementary products or services to what you're offering. And you very quickly can put a short list of 10 to 20 to the more you have, the better, because a percentage of them are not going to answer. And you reach out for for me at least, the way I do it, I ask for a little bit of their time for an interview. And that was actually way before Startup Circle, by the way, Diane. I mean, Startup Circle now it's daily life Q&A sessions. We can call it a podcast, although, don't necessarily refer to it as a podcast because we host short masterminds, essentially, on a daily basis. But even before I had that platform that obviously that represents where I would be posting interviews, I reached out to people for an interview that I created guides out of, Diane. So I told them, I'm creating a guide about X, Y, and Z, and I think you're, the best fit to talk about this subject, and I would love to interview you for 15 to 30 minutes about the topic. Would you be interested in having a very quick call? And that's how I built the first connections that later turned into partnerships. So the research side, I don't think it is a tedious process or a hard process. For me, focused on startups, on coaches, and on technology in general, those who are building something in the technology space, I looked for example, podcasts that focus on the topic, and that helped me find a prepared list of experts, influencers that might be a good fit for what I'm doing. And out of the hundreds or thousands of people that I found through other people's podcasts, put a list of 100 people, and I reached out to them, and that's how it all started.
Okay. So this is going to sound like a really strange question, but the reason I'm going to ask it is because, like, you are inclined to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
But I can imagine there's people listening who this is a totally new idea to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so a question that comes to my mind is, how can they be sure that the people they're reaching out to are actually influencers, like actually are experts, actually do have a following?
Quick research.
Can they, or is it, yeah, go ahead.
You never know. That's a good point. That's a great question, Diane. But you can know. Okay, you look at their social media accounts. You look at their websites, and you make sure that they have a way for people to join their email list. That's a sign that they care about having an email list. And then you just make an educated guess that this person is someone who has an audience and together can benefit from this partnership. But Diane, really, you would know easily because you might be a member of their email list. You might have seen some people talk about the person. You might have seen some of their content shared on social media. One of the things I like to look at is whether they have they invest in content marketing. Do they write? Most people write for several reasons, but mainly to attract people to their website. So they do care about having an audience in the first place. And then you'd also make an educated guess that they are interested in having, or they're focused also on having an email list that they can sell products and services to.
That's great. Okay, thanks. That absolutely that answers my question. I think that's wonderful. And I especially love the part about, go to their website, and if they have a mechanism for people to sign up for their email, then that's something that they're doing. That's so great. It's really, I think that's overlooked in a really easy way to do it. And I get you take an educated guess, right? And that's okay. But then once you're having the conversation with them as well, you can, if you're paying attention and really doing the relationship building thing, you can pretty much figure out if they're really all that.
And look, Dan, one of the things I like to do also that helps me explain what I want to explain in terms of partnerships, online events, in different types of collaborations is I want to first focus on the people who have already been part of projects like this, because this makes it a lot easier for me to explain what's about. It makes it also a lot easier for me to emphasize the importance of their contribution to it through sharing, through email marketing, or letting their audience know about it. And it makes the whole thing smoother. That is another sign that they're more likely to be working with you. If they've been part of online events, for example, through, you can look for summits in your area, whether it's in marketing or random manufacturing. I just helped an entrepreneur launch an online event in farming, in soil health. And through that, you can find a list of speakers, usually in at least 10 people. And at most, I've found events with 100 or more. And that's a sign that those guests or speakers or experts know that being part of a project like this requires, in one way or another, some type of promotion, some type of involvement that benefits both parties.
That's great. I get that too. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a quick sponsor break, and then I have some more questions for you. Accelerate Your Business Growth podcast is happy to be sponsored by Audible.com and RingBoost.com. Audible.com is a leading provider of spoken digital audio entertainment and information. They have over 150,000 titles to choose from, and you can listen to them on any device, including whatever you're hearing us on right now. And if you sign up at our link, which is audibletrial.com/businessgrowth, you get one free audiobook and a 1-month trial of the service. Some examples of books you can listen to on audible.com are The Inside Track by Peter Sage and The Irresistible Consultant's Guide to Winning Clients by David A. Fields. So visit audibletrial.com/businessgrowth, explore the books that are of interest to you, and receive one free audiobook when you sign up for the trial. Did you pick your company name, logo, URL? Of course you did. So why did you let the phone company give you any old generic phone number? Phone calls convert to revenue at 10 to 15 times the rate of web forms. Memorable numbers are a unique, affordable, and long-lasting tool to maximize your marketing. Ringboost.com has the largest selection of vanity and easy dial phone numbers in the country, including custom local and toll-free. Call 877-RING-BOOST or visit ringboost.com to get a number as unforgettable as you are. Today we're speaking with Abdo Riani, and we're talking about how to leverage the audience of influencers and experts in your industry to launch or grow your business. So, Abdo, is there specific, or I guess any really, technology that someone should be using and implementing to do this?
Depends on the type of the project that you're launching, Diane. But mostly all you will need is a simple landing page that presents the speakers, the dates, the benefits, the desired outcomes, and potential partners, or if you potentially have partners involved in the project. In addition to that, one of the things that has helped me boost conversion rate through one of my last projects was a tool called Right Message. And what Right Message allows you to do is personalize the copy of the website based on where they came from. So if, Diane, you worked with me on a project like this and you were inclined to promote the project to your audience, then when you email your audience or when you mention the project to your audience in any way, social media, website, email, when they click the link and visit the page, they're going to see your picture. They're going to see your testimonial. They're going to see certain keywords that apply to you and only you. And that personalization makes a huge difference, I found. A conversion rate for one of my latest projects was increased by about 380%. Just by those changes. I was skeptical in the beginning, to be honest with you, Diane, and then I said, you know, what's the worst that can happen? So let's give it a try. People want to see, or they trust the people that referred them to a certain or a certain website, and that's the whole idea of Right Message. So that is another tool. The third thing, and also depending on what project you run, but let's talk about the Bootstrapping Summit, for example. You'd want people who were not able to access the interviews or the sessions the week of the launch to have access to the recording afterwards. And for that, you can use Teachable, you can use Lifter LMS, you can use LearnDash to host those sessions, to provide subscribers with access to those sessions whenever they like. For the chamber events that I am running, I didn't even need a landing page. All I needed was to be available the time of the session with a Zoom link. Zoom is actually one of the tools I should have mentioned earlier. Then I hosted the sessions on my existing Lifter LMS dashboard for those who were not able to attend it live. So, long story short, Diane, I found that running partnerships like this, or projects like this, is a very efficient, cost-efficient way of getting the exposure you need to a new or bigger audience so that you can accomplish many goals. In fact, not just selling products and services. After the Bootstrapping Summit, and thanks to all the exposure that I received through the Bootstrapping Summit, and by being the host of the Bootstrapping Summit, and branding myself as the bootstrapping guy, at least that week of the launch, I was able to become a Forbes contributor, something I had been trying to do for a while, or to accomplish for a while. I don't say that that was the reason why I became a Forbes contributor, but it helped. When I pitched a Forbes editor about my focus and expertise, and shared all the initiatives that I had run in the past and all the writing that I did, part of which was the Bootstrapping Summit. So I encourage every entrepreneur in any industry or are running different business models to run projects like this, to connect with new audience and existing audience, and to accomplish many different goals at the same time.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, so how do I want to ask this question? I sort of want to run through a little something. Is there a way to, so let's say you get an organization to say, yeah, this is great. Let's put on this event. Let's do this thing. We'll put it out to our email list and blah, blah, blah. Can you also get sponsors for whatever that event is? And do you go through the same process, or is there another way that you do that so that
Absolutely.
You've just got more, people helping, well, financing it, but also helping spread the word?
Absolutely, Diane. For one of my last launches, let's keep talking about the Bootstrapping Summit, actually. So at the Bootstrapping Summit, I had 14 sponsors, 14 partners. Some of them paid to be sponsors. Others were just promotional sponsors. That is, they sent their audience 2 dedicated emails about the Bootstrapping Summit. And the process was pretty much the same, but maybe slightly different. I approached those companies with the idea of the summit and the benefits of being involved in the Bootstrapping Summit, and if they would be interested in learning a little more. When I get their confirmation for wanting to learn a little more, I either ask if they'd be interested in having a quick call about it so I can build that trust, or I send them a promotional partnership deck, 3-4 slides, that explains their involvement and the benefits that I am going to be providing them with for their partnership with this event. And I was very surprised that out of the 20 companies I emailed, 14 confirmed, 14 were interested in being part of it. And the same thing here, Diane, I contacted companies I found did something similar in the past. That helped me, explain what the Bootstrapping Summit and what the benefits are very quickly, and I didn't have to sell anything because they knew that this is something that provides some good to the company and doesn't cost a lot of time or money to do. So 14 brought about 3,000 people, and out of those 3,000 people, about 50 joined as paid subscribers, and out of the 50, I believe 3 people joined my coaching program, which is honestly one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, why I created the Bootstrapping Summit.
Got it. That's so interesting. Wow. This is so interesting. Okay. So my mind is sort of racing because I can think of I guess I'm sort of overthinking because I can think of so many different ways that someone could do this sort of thing. For example, there are actual conferences, like in-person conferences that people have, but there's also, as you said, chambers that are looking for ways to add value to their members. And then there's online programs. Like I participated in something called Day of Digital, where it's a handful of people that were selected by someone, and we each do a webinar and we all promote it, and they put out the promotional materials, and so we all promote it to get people to attend, and it's free to attend, but it gives us an opportunity to get new people on our list and potential clients and whatnot. So it feels like that's the same sort of concept.
It's the exact same idea, Diane. It really is the exact same idea. And the idea can, as I mentioned, as we've been talking, can be executed on in many ways. In fact, about pricing, by the way, Diane, having run many of those events, many of those initiatives over the past year, I found that even if it is $1, even if you charge attendees $1, you're going to have a much more engaged group and committed group than if you make it free. One of the lessons learned, the second time I launched a project like this. Another variation, for example, Diane, one of the things I'm doing the last week of this month is I reach out to 5 of the people that I had built a relationship with over the past couple of months. Those are people I had actually met through Startup Circle. I asked if they'd be interested in an interview. I connected with them before and after the interview, followed up through several emails, and we got to a point where we became friends. So I reached out to 5 of them, and I told them that I am planning a week-long, Monday through Friday, private mastermind where every day our attendees are going to attend a session about a topic for about 2 hours live. Nothing is recorded. Everything is live so that they can ask questions, they can interact with the guests and other members and get personalized answers that will help them move their businesses forward. And every day we're going to host one session. This, Diane, is another variation. But this time I focus more on people that I know are going to be able to share a lot of valuable insights. But also I know that with almost absolute certainty are going to go above and beyond to promote the event. One of the lessons learned, in fact, through the Bootstrapping Summit, Diane, is that having 100 speakers doesn't mean that you're going to have 1 million people. A big percentage, very big percentage of those guests did not promote the way I kind of expected them to promote, and sometimes the way they made me expect them to promote. A lot of people, promised and continuously confirmed that they will be sharing their sessions with their audience, but didn't. So in terms of getting exposure to a new audience, you don't necessarily have to, if you obviously are planning on launching an online event, another variation of this idea. But if you're planning an online event, you don't necessarily need 100. You don't sometimes even need 50 or 30. 10, 20 people that are interested in being part of it, that are are going to be promoting, and are going to be supporting you as well in making this a success. You can launch something very successful, and everybody benefits from it. Now, the question is, how do you know that people are, even those people that you are going to speak with and select, are going to promote? Diane, really, there's no way to know. The only way you'd know with more certainty is if you have a stronger relationship with the person. That's it. Because they'll tell you up front if they are going to promote or not. And that takes some time. So in the beginning, in your first initiative, you may not be successful at getting everybody to help you spread the word. But that is the foundation. That is when you're going to be building relationships with people so that for later events, later initiatives, you can get more promoters. Nonetheless, with the Bootstrapping Summit, for example, over close to 6,000 people that I am targeting have joined. A very big percentage of them became coaching clients, and I was able to accomplish what I had set for the whole year within 2 months.
Wow.
You are going to be able to benefit from running something like this in any case. The only difference for me, if I had known that 30 only are going to be promoting, was that I could have saved more time. That's it.
Yeah.
Could have probably not interviewed 100 people, would have focused on 30, and I would have made them the best 30 sessions I could make, and I could have saved 50 hours. That's the only difference.
I think that is such a huge point, and I really appreciate you saying it, because I think that is something that happens, obviously, and oftentimes you don't know till you do it who's really going to be able to follow through. People have the best intentions, and then stuff happens and they don't necessarily get to it, but you do need to know that, because the quantity really isn't necessarily. I think people look at that and they say, wow, well, the more participants I have, the more reach I'll get and the more opportunity. And you've just shown that that's not necessarily the case. So go for quality.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Diane. I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah. Wow. This is really awesome. I've so enjoyed this conversation and learned so much. And it's timely for me because I'm working on symposium, actually. So I'm thrilled that we're having this conversation. Will you let the listeners know how they can get in touch with you and all about your this program that you've got going on, the Startup Circle, and anything you think they should know about, please?
Of course. Startup Circle, Diane, is on a mission to democratize guidance. We provide aspiring, rising, and even successful entrepreneurs with opportunities, actually, not just an opportunity, with opportunities to connect with successful entrepreneurs on a daily basis through live Q&A sessions so they can ask questions, follow-up questions, connect with the speakers, and get personalized advice that they can use to move their business forward. We limit every session to a maximum of 3 attendees so that we can accomplish that personalization goal. Go to startupcircle.co. It's free to join, and I look forward to seeing you live in many sessions. You can attend as many as you like. AbdoRiani.com is where you'll learn more about me, where you'll find most of my content, and where you will be able to book a time that best fits your schedule for a quick conversation where I can, within 30 minutes, help you answer some questions and move your businesses forward. Diane, thank you very much for having me, and I hope I was of value in this session. And once again, thank you very much.
Oh, Abdo, it was great. And I'm going to give my son the Startup Circle information because he's looking at starting something, and
awesome.
I could really benefit from that. So thanks. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank my listeners and sponsors. If you'd like to get a free trial of audible.com as well as a free audiobook, just go to audibletrial.com/businessgrowth. Get your custom vanity phone number today by calling 877-RING-BOOST or visiting ringboost.com. As always, continue to prosper and be curious. And until we meet again on another episode of Accelerate Your Business Growth, goodbye and good day.
Harvard Business School Online offers a flexible and engaging way to learn vital business concepts. Our professional certificate courses are offered 100% online and can be completed on your own time. Try a free business lesson at hbsonline.info and discover how Harvard Business School Online can help you take the next step in your career. Go to hbsonline.info today.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the name your price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
We are Jackie Clayton and Katie Van Horn, co-hosts of the Inclusive AF podcast. We're two diversity, equity, and inclusion peeps who love both what we have in common and what makes us different.
During the day, we use our superpowers to block bias and break down systems that are inequitable within companies and create inclusive AF places to work. We're also BFFs who have tough conversations about our different lived experience. Come have a listen and learn something new.